Soundbeat is produced at the Belfer Audio Archive, Syracuse University Library. I'm Brett Barry.
KAKU.
I just feel awkward silences with my laughter.
88.5 FM. It's time to pound the poi on The Local Show. KAKU FM Kahului, Maui. The voice of Maui.
On the local show with me, Brother Tony Midnite, Brother Jiren, and Professor Barry Wurst, the Hawaii Film Critic Society trio here on the local show. Thursday afternoon fright. We're going to talk about some cool movies and things we watch. The best and the worst of 2026. We'll get it in there. Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about. Starting off the show with sincere heart going out of the heartbreak of this week. Hayden Panettiere, too young, only 37 now. Her birthday's today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Her
Oh my
birthday's
gosh.
today. She would have been 37 years of age.
Oh man.
Amazing actress, you know, from remember the Titans TV show Heroes. I never even got through the whole series of that one, but it's a great series. And of course Scream 4 and one of the recent, which was it, Scream 6 or Scream?
She did 4 and 6 only.
Yeah.
She's not in 7, which honestly would have made the movie better.
Would have been. But anyways, just heartfelt prayers and positive mana going out to her family and friends.
Yeah, that's tragic.
Yeah, tragic. I'm not gonna get into all the backstory stuff because I went down a rabbit hole and I'm like, I'm angry. But
Yeah.
other than Hayden Panettiere, we didn't mention this last week, but we did lose Reggie Bannister of the Phantasm films.
Yeah.
Don Coscarelli's top leading guy.
Is it the main character?
Yeah, the bald head guy with the 4-barrel
Reggie.
shotgun, Reggie.
Yes, okay.
Reggie Bannister, yeah.
I've only seen the first 2. I still gotta watch all of them.
He's the reason that there's a musical number in Phantasm.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that one. What is the line after they finish their jam? It's like, we're hot as love, man. We're hot as love.
I just remember the first time watching the film going, this is a horror film?
It's
It's so loose. Yeah.
It's a great film, and part 2 is one of my favorites.
I think even better, honestly.
Phantasm 2 and Evil Dead 2, the top sequels of the 80s in my book.
They're better than the original, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, they're ostensibly rather remakes of the original, but the production values are better, the sense of humor is better, the special effects are better. Yeah.
Definitely. And then we just got word this week that he passed on earlier in the year. Screaming Mad George.
Yeah.
Amazing special effects creator. He's done Society, The Guyver. He's done work with Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. Quite a few stuff. Brad Reanimator, all the little creature things that happen in Brad Reanimator is like that. Screaming Mad George.
Society is a masterpiece. If anybody loves horror films, anyone listening to this show or watching this show, if you haven't seen Brian Usna's Society, don't look it up, don't read about it, just watch it.
Just watch
Really?
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's extraordinary.
I'm gonna take that message
It's
personally.
disgusting and extraordinary.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's where else can you literally see somebody talking out of their butt?
No way.
I can't say the
So if
bad.
that doesn't entice you,
It's like you're talking out of your butt, literally. Yeah. But yeah, Screaming Man George. My apologies. I don't know his real name. I know it's like really Japanese, but I think he passed in February, and the family just needed that time of mourning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Japanese culture too, and so it was a lot of delayed, but we only recently found out just this past couple of days. So, oh man, three greats has passed on. Every
Rest
time
in
we do a
peace.
show, for some reason, like, oh, somebody just passed.
Yeah.
So,
you're absolutely right. It always tends to be in groups of 3, which is strange. Yeah.
definitely.
That is.
So, do we want to do reviews, or do we want to go over real quick the best and worst of 26?
Well, let's start with reviews because you guys got stuff to talk about. You saw one of the biggest films of the year.
Yeah.
So we need to talk about that.
Should I go first?
You should definitely go first.
Go first.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Obsession.
Yes.
Curry Barker. Big online presence in social media, YouTuber, right? Like,
Yeah.
I remember he did like Vines and stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
So definitely comedy. You can tell some of the comedy in here. But overall, when I started watching this movie, I was like I'm watching a cringe video online or something, like, oh, it's so uncomfortable. Then once he makes the wish, it all goes downhill. I thought it was just, at one point there's like a rom-com montage, but you can kind of see the creepiness happening slowly.
Yeah.
I mean, from the get-go, once he made the wish, you can kind of see like, oh, this is something that's different about her, but like there's certain parts of it where she kind of like the actual version of Nikki, like the real version of Nikki. She's like, you can see her in there. But yeah, overall, Obsession is the most uncomfortable, most twisted, most horrific film I have ever seen for 2026. I'm happy to have gotten this in my physical collection. And watched it when there was no power at our house. Our Tesla backup battery popped on. We had no
good.
cable, so I'm like, I guess it's perfect time to check this movie out. And I was on the edge of my seat from the middle part to the last part of the movie. I was like, oh my god. Who is the girl? Who is the other girl in the movie? The Asian girl?
Megan Lawless.
Megan Lawless.
Yeah. She's like.
Is she
half,
Asian or Native American?
No, she's half Chinese and half half Howley.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Is she anything else?
She might be, but I that's all I know about her.
Yeah. Well, her
bio.
character, I'm like, dude, this chick was there the whole freaking time, and you're stuck fantasizing about this one chick. Now you're stuck in a wish, and you're slowly like, this is not what I wanted afterwards. And then you get to the scene. And I heard from interviews with Megan Lawless that there was more to that scene.
That scene was longer, especially
longer.
in the cons. I think they premiered it at Con.
The director's cut.
Yeah, it was their initial cut. Yeah, because they were just running festivals around it at first, and then right after that festival, all the studios came up to them and said, "Hey, don't talk to anybody else. We want your movie." So they were throwing money at this movie when they premiered it, and then they were like, "Hey, we would love to distribute it for you." So that's why the movie took a little bit longer to reach worldwide, because this little indie film was the little train that could. Yeah.
Yeah. I know the budget was like just under 100,000 or something like that. Yeah. So it's crazy. Like this is this generation's Blair Witch Project kind of deal. Like it's a movie that's so independent, but like
Really
blew up.
Yeah.
And I kind of see like how Terrifier. I mean, Terrifier 2 wasn't even in theaters.
It had a special screening, but it was one of those really rare instances.
But it took Terrifier 2 to branch off into the universe that it is now.
Yeah.
And now you take Obsession, and it takes on a whole new life online. You know how many parodies? I'm like, get ready for Halloween, everybody. All the women are gonna cosplay as Freaky Nikki.
Yeah.
Freaky Nikki is gonna be cosplayed left and right. I already saw some of the conventions in the mainland.
Yeah, they're doing Obsession Halloween Horror Nights, which doesn't make any sense, but I can see why Universal wants to capitalize on it.
Right?
It's crazy.
Can you imagine just walking through the doors and all you hear is no, 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 or like I love you so much. By the end of the film, I was floored. My jaw was on the ground. This is an amazing feat for basically almost like a first-time director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've just been doing I think they dropped out of film school. Him and Cooper Tomlinson, who plays Ian's character.
Yeah.
And they were like, they put all the cards on themselves, and they're like, hey, we should just go make our own YouTube channel. And that's what they did. They started the YouTube channel, That's a Bad Idea. And, that's when they really were inspired. Because, like, a lot of their short films are comedy, but they really love horror.
Yeah.
So a lot of the more, like, elongated short films that they have, those are horror-centric with that, like, crass comedy that they have.
So, yeah, it really worked. I love this film. This is a great film. Really. One of the best ones this year. I mean, last year we had Weapons. Weapons was amazing. Aunt Gladys really but this year it's Indie Never Ready right here with Freaky Nikki. I can see Nikki. Freaky Nikki.
And now she's gonna be playing Rogue in the X-Men universe.
Yeah, the new iteration of the X-Men. Yeah. I wonder if Sadie Sink is a part of that one too.
She is.
She is.
We can't. Oh man, did I spoil that?
What?
Is there anyone left who hasn't seen Spider-Man Brand New Day listening at
I
this
haven't
point?
watched it, but I already know because if you go down to IMDb, there is Sadie Sink right there.
So you know that Wolverine is played by Pauly Shore, right?
Yeah.
You heard that announcement?
I knew it.
Okay.
It's time for his comeback. I'm telling you, Pauly Shore. I always see like Pauly Shore now, the way he is, the person at his old age. I can see him doing like thrillers, drama. I really can, because like you take a look at like what's his name from Nobody? Better Call Saul. Odenkirk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I always saw him as a comedy actor, Then all of a sudden Nobody pops up. I'm like, wait, he could do martial arts?
Well, Pauly Shore tried to get the Richard Simmons story going. That was a film he tried to get going for a while. There's test footage of him as Richard Simmons, and apparently the family shot it down. But I think he wants that opportunity. I think he wants the wrestler. He wants his dramatic breakthrough film. So who knows?
So overall, we sidetrack again. Obsession, great film.
I only want to talk about Pauly Shore, but I guess we could talk about Obsession.
Great film. So yeah, my review for it might a 5 all across the board.
All across the board?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm the only one who doesn't love this movie as much as you guys. How do you feel about that ridiculous ending where they try to give it magical realism in the last third of the film?
Tragic.
I love it.
It's silly. It's ridiculous.
It might be silly, but watching so much absurd horror movies, that ending is like Night of the Living Dead ending, basically.
Weren't you all both distracted by Andy Richter's miscasting? It's ridiculous. He's just wandering around the background and he says, "What are you doing in this movie, man?"
I think
he needed money.
I think I think they really wanted him.
Yeah.
Yeah. and he was kind of excited, but he didn't have much of a prominent role to stand out. I mean, I think I might have said this, but I think he should have been a really funny post-credit scene where he's like, "Where's everybody today?"
Right? That would have been a nice little touch.
It was like nobody showed up to work.
Crazy, but yeah, everybody dies in this movie.
Oh, spoiler!
Spoiler!
Everybody dies. They all die in a fiery pit. No. It's not true.
No,
That's
not at all.
Not at all. No.
There is one survivor at the end of the film. That's it.
Yes, one.
Just
one.
one.
I
So
imagine
no sequel. No sequel.
No sequel, but what if? I mean, a lot of people bought that One Wish Willow. It was full when he had bought it.
And that's the problem. You know that's going to be the sequel. It's not going to be about them. It's going to be about someone else buying the One Wish. They'll probably call it One Wish Willow. Let's just call it that.
I could see a horror anthology. I can't really see a movie.
Yeah, maybe something for Shudder kind of deal, like one wish after another.
Yeah.
Going wrong.
Yeah, or doesn't even have to be connected. Really, it just could be like just its own episodes.
Can you imagine if somebody like took out that One Wish Willow and wished for everybody in the world to be happy?
That is the most chaotic thing ever.
That'll be the most chaotic. That's the apocalypse.
Yeah,
right there.
That's the apocalypse because that means so many different things.
Yes. So, they could take it places, but as a standalone,
yeah,
I enjoyed it very much. It's very entertaining to me. So, yeah, I mean, compared to don't bring her back or something like that last year.
Oh, bring
her back.
Bring her back. Yeah, that was. I don't know. There's something with children. I enjoyed it, but at the same time, I'm like, I was going.
You feel icky. Yeah. You feel.
Yeah, I wouldn't use the word enjoyment. I thought Sally Hawkins gave one of the best performances of the year in that film.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I would never see that film again.
I thoroughly enjoyed her performance in Shape of Water. So
yeah, she's an excellent actress. She is.
Okay, I didn't like Shape of Water.
You didn't.
But it wasn't one Best Picture. Come on.
Not okay. You want to take it there?
Yes,
we're gonna talk about Honora now.
Oh, here we go.
No, don't talk about Honora. Well, let's get into your review. You watched House at the End of Oak Street.
Okay, you keep adding house, and it's not the title.
He's trying to make it more of a convention. The house
What
at
is
the
it?
end of
It's
Oak
just
Street.
called the end of Oak Street.
The End of Oak Street.
Yes.
I want to see the house. It sounds more like a horror movie at House in it.
Because
movies?
you hear end, and I know you just really want to say Last House on the Left, and I know you just also got done
house
watching
at the end of the
Last
street.
House. Yes. So this is just called The End of Oak Street. The End of Oak Street. This one is directed by David Robert Mitchell, who has written and directed It Follows, and he got to team up with producer J.J. Abrams on this. And this
is he making the new They Follow movie?
David Robert Mitchell definitely got interviewed, especially for the press circuit for this, and he's already hard at work with They Follow with Michael Monroe. But it was weird to see him do something as ambitious and very studio driven as a movie like this, because
very big budget,
because you could kind of tell straight off the bat this feels like JJ's project a lot more, but with the sensibilities and style and technique of David Robert Mitchell, because there's a lot of amazing cinematography shots that very much harkens back to what I love about It Follows. And here you are set up in the 1982 to be more specific. They never flat out say it, but this starts off very Spielberg-y. You have like this, this white picket fence suburban neighborhood with all these like people that have block parties and
Poltergeist, kind of
the beginning of Poltergeist. That's what it felt like. And you start to see like how happy and how just perfect everybody is. And then immediately it shows you that it isn't all perfect. You start to see the cracks, and you see how imperfect and just how much this family is trying to hold together, and just the things in life that are just kind of sort of tearing them apart and leaving each other estranged. I think Anne Hathaway carries this movie, and I did not see her other projects earlier this year like Mother Mary or Devil Wears Prada 2. I mean, she was great in The Odyssey, but here she carries this movie.
Nice.
And her performance is just amazingly strong. And a lot of people were telling me that it does have a slow start, but I was really invested with this family. So once we get into the more bizarre aspects of the film where things start to terraform in their neighborhood, like, you know, the wildlife, the plants, and then they start, you know, seeing and hearing things just lurking about the neighborhood. And at first it really starts off like that, where you're like, something's lurking around the corner, but we're not seeing it. So there's like, you know, you hear roaring in the distances, and there's this sort of build. And once they show you the dinosaurs, which doesn't actually take too long, it is full dinosaur action mayhem.
When dinosaurs attack.
And unlike the Jurassic sequels, and I mean this starting with Jurassic World, this is the scariest dinosaurs have ever been.
Really?
In comparison to those. Because, yes, they're CGI, but there was a really genuine horror element to the way that Anne Hathaway was screaming, running away from these raptor-like creatures. It was, very alarming.
Were they like, they had feathers?
They had, they're kind of a
realistic raptor. So they're like what they supposedly supposed to look like.
Yeah, like it's definitely not the same design as what they used for Jurassic World, Jurassic Park. Yeah. It definitely is more of a mix. So, I mean, any dinosaur experts out there, you're going to see a mixed bag between Jurassic, Cretaceous, and Mesozoic. There's even this Titanoboa. It's like this large snake.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that.
It was eerie. Like every time I saw it, I was like, ugh. I felt like gross just like seeing it slither, and it's just silent. And these predators, they kind of attack on silence too. Like some of them don't even make themselves known. Like the characters could be talking, and like a smaller Allosaurus could just be charging their way with no sound, and it's fast. And there are some shocking moments, some really shocking like attacks that really almost push the boundary of the PG-13 element, because you hear things, you see like people get attacked by creatures, and some scenes are bloody, and then somehow it really is all in the sound design and the way that they sort of blur some of the actual violence on screen. But it almost, you know, it could have been rated R, but they really did a good job with the editing and how they decided to craft some of the violence here. But I think my only downside about this film was that the movie was absolutely in a rush to end. And you can tell that the script was probably not well thought out, or probably not something that tested well. Because once you get to the third act, the science fiction element that is supposed to explain everything is a little bit rushed. It's a little bit of sloppy. It almost feels like a Twilight episode has just not, you know, is trying to get to the conclusion without actually having to explain things to you. And I just wish the movie could have been longer and could have dove a little further in.
What's the runtime? 2 hours?
It's an hour and 39 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a director's cut out there somewhere.
I mean, even if there were, I don't see them releasing it. Because this was, I know, I did read an interview that Anne Hathaway was talking about how the, what do you call it? I think the original ending just didn't vibe well with I think they were so at odds with each other, because I did hear a lot of production errors, like there was a lot of reshoots, but the original ending did not fare well. And then they decided to shoot a much different ending at the last second, and then they went with that as their theatrical cut. But yeah, it was a fun blockbuster. This was probably a much better dinosaur movie. This should have been Jurassic World Dominion, honestly. But yeah, it's not perfect. Very entertaining.
Cool.
How many stars would you give it, Jiren?
I locked it down at a 3.5 out of 5.
3.5. Oh, okay, out of 5. Okay. All right,
Yeah.
got it.
Well, I watched The Last House. Again, that's the reason why I probably get House at the Oak Street.
You see?
So Last House on Netflix is kind of like their sci-fi family trapped in a neighborhood house kind of deal, right? But that movie, I give it kind of like 2 or 3, to tell you the truth, because it's very campy. it's cheesy at some points, and I'm like, this family really like stuck together for the past 8 years in their house, trying their best to make a living, while they don't know what is going on outside.
Wait, the movie spans across 8 years?
Yes,
Wow.
yes. From the kids being like 13 and maybe 9 to the sister turning 16 and the brother's like almost in his 20s kind of deal.
I have a lot of questions that would ruin this movie.
Yeah, right.
How you gonna do 8 years and not go outside of your house?
Well, they're trapped inside.
Yeah.
They're trapped,
I
and
know.
it's something is forcing everybody in the neighborhood to be trapped. So as I think all of the world, because something from the sea, something ancient, awoke and is reclaiming the world for itself, and I think there is some scenes where the creature effects in the movie kind of works. It's CGI basically, but the whole idea of it is like it's kind of like how you were explaining Oak Street. This is how Last House is too. It's because like everything happens and then like this whole long period till you get an ending where it's like, oh, they rush it with only like the minimal thing of like the child explaining that maybe it's something from the sea that has reclaimed the world, kind of deal. And then it turns out to be very, very a tinge of Lovecraft in it, because it only seems like that would explain why the whole world went to like almost water world kind of deal. Yeah. So I watched that one. It was entertaining enough, but like it lacked some things. The main actor in the movie, I was like trying to place him. I was like, isn't he from? Yeah, is he from Sicario?
No.
Was he in? I thought he was in that movie Sicario.
He did Secret Agent this past year.
I know.
Yes. Yeah, Wagner Moura, the Oscar-nominated actor.
Oh
yeah.
wait, he played Pablo Escobar in a movie on a TV show on Netflix.
I believe he did. Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I think I remember him, because like I remember clips of like, who's this actor, and like I think it's one of those like Netflix series that kind of Narcos, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Might be Narcos.
That one. I know he was in Civil War. He was also in Elysium.
Civil War. That's right. He was one of the journalists.
But his performance in Secret Agent, I mean, that was one of the best performances I've seen in a while.
I gotta check that one out.
He's superb in that. Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah. Other than that, did you had another movie we're gonna talk about?
Real quick. So while I missed out having to do the show with you guys, I did end up watching One Night Only, which was
Romcom.
The romcom, yes, where it's pretty much The Purge but with sex. And this movie failed.
Oh, there's a fantasy element to the film?
Huh?
There's a fantasy element to the film, like something like one night only. People gotta like.
Oh, okay. So the premise is there's a mandate that single people who are not married, so whether you're in a relationship, you cannot legally have sex unless you're married.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's only one night, 12 hours that this mandate lifts. Right? And those 12 hours are the only window that you can actually have sex.
Oh my god.
This music is perfect the way you paused.
Is it rated R?
It's rated R in the most highest PG-13 way, because there is no nudity in here. Nobody is actually doing it. It's a lot of making out, and that is why I also didn't like it. And I mean, I know that made me sound perverse or somewhat, but I mean, you're talking about a movie that has such a wild premise. It's that's like watching a horror film and hoping anything bad happens. And for this, considering the world we live in now and the way that some people are talking about how they don't need sex scenes and nudity in films anymore, this is the type of movie that sort of needed that. It needed that shock value. It needed that taboo. And it just doesn't have that. It doesn't have that. And I think it would have made a lot of the more awkward situations funnier. And this sticks to the most basic template of a rom-com. New York City, running around and somehow coming across, like, no matter, every single time these characters run off, they somehow manage to find each other the most numerous times in such a vast, you know, in New York City, in that 12-hour span. And I'm like, okay, there's some BS to be had here. And the way that they think that they could, that the government could monitor you if you somehow had sex outside of the mandate, they got cops waiting to send people your way, which is so funny because they'll just stick a chip on you, right? And it's like supposed to glow or whatever when it's it's go time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
He's like, wow.
I haven't seen this film. I mean, the whole
rom-com.
idea of like having a mandate about not having sex. It's like, well, I went to a private Christian high school, so I mean, for me, it wasn't like 40 days. It was 40 years, basically.
Right.
But no, I haven't seen this film yet. I've heard terrible things.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm not saying
Terrible things.
now. I'm not saying the movie is not watchable. I'm sure that anybody that wants to watch a really simple
find a
rom-com
redeeming
who
quality
find
to it.
anybody who finds Callum Turner or Monica Barbaro hot, they'll have something to come out of this. It has a really good moral to the story, but for an idea this wild, it doesn't have the effect that it's going for.
Okay.
And so that's where I think the movie had failed us. So yeah, waste your time with it. Don't waste your time.
Many have said that a premise like this, there should be sex, there should be nudity,
Yeah.
it should be wild, and it's like this movie was made in the wrong decade.
Right.
Because a couple decades earlier, there would be a lot more freedom in telling a story this wild, as opposed to trying to make it into a PG-13 very safe date movie with a crazy twist.
Yeah, because otherwise it had no reason to be rated R. It had no reason. And it made me mad because I look at a movie like Anora and I'm like, why? Why does that one get that one?
And on that note, Dressed to Kill, Brian De Palma, Angie Dickinson, Nancy Allen, what's the kid's name?
Keith Gordon.
Keith Gordon. Wow.
He's still a kid? Oh, wait, yeah. That
At that time, what's it,
At the
1980,
In
1980?
80, he was a kid. He's a director now. Yeah.
But, whoa, first time watching it from beginning to end. Angie Dickinson. Even at that age. I mean, I seen Big Bad Mama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
And
seen
Big Bad Mama, too.
She's a force to be reckoned with, I
Yeah.
tell you. But
Oh, yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah, the
All
opening
right?
sequence.
Opening.
Poor idea for me to put that on while cleaning the house when my
Perfect.
folks are home.
I know.
Volume full blast, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
It's
The
like
music's nice.
Oh, absolutely.
this is nice. It's the same composer for
Yeah.
Carrie.
Yeah,
right?
Pino
Carrie.
Donaggio.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I now
It's lovely
after
if you're not watching the imagery.
yeah, after knowing that, I'm like, okay, this is an American giallo.
Yes.
Basically, is an American giallo. I'm like,
But it's erotic. That's the thing. It's like I
Very.
feel like contemporary movies are afraid to be erotic. Even that one, even Obsession. Like we're afraid of nudity. It's just a very, very different time. But there's
Very.
also a dishonesty in that because surprise, surprise, when people just finish having sex, they're in bed together, the sheets get pulled, they're naked. People are naked when they take showers. We're in this world where movies are extraordinarily violent, but they lack any eroticism.
well, Brian De Palma just added that plus the violence.
Oh, he
yeah,
definitely added
because-
to it. Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, Body Double alone is
Yep.
the most sleaziest, grimiest, and the most erotic film,
I still gotta watch that one.
and has the most brutal.
It's the
killing I've ever seen on
infamous
screen.
drill kill scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
The last movie he did like that, and it's a great film, is Femme Fatale. That was
Femme Fatale.
2002.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
But then
Is
going
that
back
the
to
Antonio?
It is.
Banderas?
Banderas and Rebecca Romaine, who
Oh.
I don't know if she's a great actress, but she's great in that movie.
Okay.
It's a great movie, Femme
Yeah.
Fatale.
this, Dress to Kill is insane. I see all the tropes of Italian giallo in it. You know, you don't know the real identity of this killer. You have one brutal scene that happens, and I'm like, this is reminiscent of like Suspiria with Argento or Lucio Fucci with like not as gory as Lucio Fucci, but he has done some giallo stuff, you know, like Don't Torture a Duckling and stuff like that. But the elevator scene alone was like, oh my god.
And if you've seen Basic Instinct, you know where Paul Verhoeven got that elevator scene from.
Exactly. And then you get Nancy Allen, who is a high-priced call girl that witnessed the murder. And then...
Is there any other kind of call girl?
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
I loved her in this movie.
I enjoyed her performance in this film.
Great.
She's a firecracker. She's a sleuth, but she's also like, she's a call girl. Teams up with the son, and they, it's like a basic giallo. They're trying to find out who the killer is, and then it goes down this rabbit hole of like, psychosis, transsexualism at the same time, and yeah, once you get to the ending and you find out, who really is behind, the murder and everything like that, you go, whoa,
yeah,
this is crazy. Michael Caine was amazing in this film.
Michael Caine was so good.
Dennis Franz is always like, he's always playing like some kind of like New York sleazeball cop. I'm like, when he walks into the precinct in the beginning, I'm like, look at this guy. I mean, he's NYPD Blue.
Yeah.
Amazing actor, but a younger version of him just walking in, real Goomba out with the gold chain, and I'm like, oh, this is good. He's gonna be one of those freaking like detectives where it's like, he's gonna give his all to be the most cringiest or creepiest guy and at the same time kind of like, about his business. But anyways, the whole film is just amazing.
Yeah.
It's an amazing film.
Yeah.
I don't know why it took this long for me to watch it. So
Glad you enjoyed it.
I got it. Yeah. And it was on Tubi, so I had to deal with the commercials, but it doesn't matter. Because once you get to that, it's just along the lines of movies from the 80s that were, sexy at the same time scary.
Yep.
As heck, The one other film I can say is kind of like this is like the remake of Cat People. Just another one that's really like, it seems very sexy, but then once the whole kind of werewolf it's not like they're not werewolf, they turn into cats, but it's the same kind of lycanthropy kind of deal happens. So have you seen that remake for Cat People?
I've never seen Cat People at all.
I never seen the original version.
Oh, you guys got to take my class.
Right?
Come on, you guys.
Is the swimming pool scene in
Yes,
the original?
Really Francois Tournier's 1942 original. The swimming pool scene is there. It's a legendary scene. It's almost identical as it is in the new version, except there's no nudity. But it's almost the same idea. No, both films are about the same thing. It's this idea of someone being aroused by someone, but knowing that if they have sex, they're going to turn into a cat and kill their partner. So it's about this deathly fearful terror of sex, of intimacy, basically. And the 1940s, it's because of no contraceptives, this idea of like you have sex, you could die, or because you're going to be abandoned, whatever the situation is. In the 80s, I mean, this is 82, but I mean, leading into the AIDS virus, Cat People 82 was very timely. And the idea is still very timely. I mean, most people, like, it's a life and death thing. Even if you are casual about it, it's this idea of, like, who is this person? Is this person going to bring out the literal or figurative animal in me?
Malcolm McDowell is so creepy in this film.
So is Natasha Kinski, though, I got to say.
Yeah.
She's got that intense look, and it makes her perfect for this role. Yeah. John Hurt is in it, Annette O'Toole. Yeah, it's very good. And David Bowie's putting out the fire with Gasoline. Yeah, it's a good movie.
Good movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the best and the worst of 2026.
Let's talk about the best and worst summer films. So we're at the end of the summer movie season. Yeah.
Ooh,
so
summer.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let me throw out some one that I caught up with recently, and I'll just go through these quickly. And I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this. My favorite action movie of the summer of 2026 was The Furious. I finally caught up with it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it puts everything else to shame.
Martial arts?
Yeah, we don't need the opening and the end scene. We don't. It's a little unnecessary. And that final battle is so extraordinary, but it goes on so long long, I was exhausted. Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
there's still 4 guys just cannot kill each other no matter how many times they've impaled and twisted each other. But it's a fantastic action movie. Tremendous.
When Jiren was talking about that movie, it reminded me of another film. I forget the title, but it was a mother on the search for finding her daughter that was kidnapped, and she's an ex-gang member and martial artist. So the whole movie is her taking on other gang members, trying to find her daughter.
Cool.
Yeah. So I was like, it sounds similar, but I'm pretty sure with Furious, it's highly more action-packed.
It's more stylized, more like definitely takes the tropes and just kind of plays around with them. Yeah.
Like modern Bruce Lee meets Thai boxing kind of.
But you have a situation where the 2 heroes are as vivid as the villains. It's one of the few times I can think of. It's like the RoboCop thing. The thing about RoboCop for me that's magical is that there's 3 villains and they're so vile and awful, but there's 2 heroes who are wonderful and you root for them. Usually it's one or the other. You don't typically have a movie where the villains and the heroes are equal, and you're like, oh, you're truly rooting for the heroes, but the bad guys are such a surmountable threat. And the action scene, this is one of these movies that the action scenes just get better and better and better. It was kind of a sleeper film over the summer season. It wasn't promoted a lot. It was a word-of-mouth movie, but man, it lives up to the word-of-mouth.
Nice.
Like, it wasn't up until the week that the movie came out did it show up on every opening YouTube advertisement. I'm like, now?
Yeah, and it rightfully caught on. I would also say Backrooms was one of my favorite films of the summer. Favorite genre film. I loved everything about it. I was a fan of the YouTube series, but this is, I think, above and beyond. I think this is how you do it in terms of an adaptation. You couldn't have picked two better. I mean, it's Renata Rensve and Chiwetel Ejiofor, who are 2 of the best working actors in Hollywood, and they're the leads of this thing. I feel like this is how you do it. This is a 4-star movie for me. I love Backrooms.
I gotta get that movie. I gotta get it into my collection. Yes,
it's
definitely.
excellent. Another sleeper with Dustin Hoffman and Leo Woodall was Tuner, which is both a thriller, a comedy, and a love story. Tuner's a wonderful movie. Yeah, it's a little sleeper of a movie, but it definitely deserves to catch an audience. And finally, the one everyone's talking about, of course, Spider-Man. I feel like Spider-Man was the great summer movie in terms of being a superhero movie, but also multifaceted. There's a lot of things that go right in that film, and hey, gotta love that haiku boy who short-term 12 was not a fluke. I think he's going to become one of our great contemporary filmmakers. I do.
Nice. You just recently did something with Hakaco.
I did. I don't know how much I can talk about it, but yeah, we did like a small, like very chamber piece.
Okay.
Something that has to do with the HOA, and it's more of a drama, but there's a lot of like sharp comedy in there. I want to say it's almost like something ripped out of Parks and Rec and The Office, without so much of the loud funniness of it, because it really is like a bunch of characters, trying to vote who their next HOA president is going to be. But everyone gets completely sidetracked because towards the end of the night, it keeps coming to a tie. And then there's always that recess in between. And then you kind of branch off and you get to kind of like unpack some of these characters. And one in particular that stands out is Joe Abella's character, who's telling this fascinating like fishing story. And so I don't know if they shot that one yet. I know that one was the one big scene that they needed to shoot, so I'm not sure if they're still in production or they completely wrapped, but I know a lot of the more the core principle of photography that wrapped us all.
Is this one of the students' projects?
Yes, actually the 3 main students who actually went to Hollywood to meet Destiny Daniel Cretton. So, I mean, you have Samuel Pachi. I hope I'm not pronouncing their names wrong. He was the director, and he's also the main actor. I don't know his last name, but Izzy. He was our cinematographer. I think you had Marissa Johnson, who hired me because she got to work with me on the zombie film.
Okay.
And so she hired me, and she's actually one of the writers of the short.
Okay.
And then we have Lou's daughter, Malia.
Yeah.
And
nice.
I think she was script supervisor, but she was doing a lot.
Awesome.
This whole team, this whole Hakaco team, they really got their hands into having to do a lot of things. Especially with this girl Amia. She did the one After the Fire short film.
She's in that movie, the one that played at the Guadalupe Film Festival. Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay. I got to meet her because she was helping out. She was helping out with a lot of the equipment and the lighting and everything. And so, that whole team, it was really, really wonderful to see them work, because I had literally 2 lines other than just being like in the background in a lot of shots. And I, like, every time they were shooting something, I was like there, and I was just observing, just seeing the way that they worked behind the camera and some of the very intricate details that go into some of the simplest scenes that just involve dialogue. Yeah. I was like, wow.
Nice. Awesome. That's cool. So a lot of good things coming from Maui with all these film kids and stuff like that. Can't wait to see what maybe there might be the next Curry Barker or something like that. Right? You never know. You know, you know, starting on maybe do they have their own YouTube channel? Hakaco. They should start a Hakaco YouTube channel.
So the Hakaco Film Labs, I just found out they have their own YouTube channel.
Nice.
And if you missed out on their short films that premiered at Maui Mall 2 Sundays ago, you can watch them now. They're on YouTube.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Gotta check that out. So yeah, you look up Hakaco Film Labs on YouTube. So are we gonna get into the worst stuff?
Sure.
2026 now?
I don't think I saw a worse film this summer than Supergirl. And it's not the fault of the main actress. It's not the fault of the director, who's a good director. There's talented people involved. But for one thing, it's one of the most visually ugly movies I've seen in a long time. It looks like a post-apocalyptic movie, which is strange because it's Supergirl.
Worse than The Flash?
Yes. It's tonally all over the place. It's not funny. It's awkward.
I don't think anything's more worse than The Flash, though.
It was much worse than The Flash. I'd rather watch The Flash again. Yeah. It was really, really bad.
I had such high hopes for Lobo.
Yeah. Jason Momoa is wonderful. He can't save the film. He's not in it enough to save it. It feels like a cameo that they shoved into the movie. It doesn't really feel like it's a vehicle for him, let alone a proper way to set up that character.
So I wonder if he's gonna be doing good with playing. What's his name now? Forget. He's in Street Fighter. I know that he's in Street Fighter. So
he's in Street Fighter. I don't know the character.
Yeah, I forget the character, but I'm like, when I saw the clip, I'm like, no. Telling me Jason Momoa is trying to be like the Hulk. I think it's Blanco or something like that. I forget. You know, I haven't played Street Fighter in the longest time, but Momoa's in everything now. So.
You know, if Ryan Reynolds can survive X-Men Origins and find the proper find the proper vehicle for Deadpool, hopefully, though the smarter heads at Warner Brothers and DC will prevail and say, you know, Lobo, we need to give this guy his own movie. This is a special character, and this is the right actor for this.
Yeah, but you know, don't make the mistake of like, okay, you make a Lobo movie in the next year, and then pit it up against Ghost Rider. Don't do that now.
Wait.
Don't do that.
Those are 2 different universes, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
okay. You're gonna pit DC versus Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
You know, do it a separate time, please. I mean, it's too soon for Lobo because Supergirl just came out. But I know Gosling is they're already working on Ghost Rider, so I can't wait to see where he takes that one. I hope he's better than Nicolas Cage.
And Vin Diesel is claiming that this Christmas they start filming on Fast Forever.
They finally paid off their debts.
Yay!
Wonderful.
Good job with the help of Luda. Doing a couple more tours.
He's like, I can probably do another pitch black Riddick movie if they agree to greenlight my Fast and Furious project.
That'll work.
I've heard that's coming too, though. Yeah, I've actually heard about that.
We're gonna have Riddick again. Good. Yeah. Man, he really needs work.
That's a great character.
Okay. Is there anything else that's more worse than Supergirl this year?
You know,
I guess your least.
The contrast to the Furious is Mortal Kombat 2. I thought was a bit of a.
You didn't like it?
I didn't. Not at all.
I haven't seen it yet.
No, like there was one film that came out this summer. I thought that was kind of in the middle. It wasn't a disappointment, but it was just so silly that nobody really responded to it the way everybody should have, which was Masters of the Universe. So I thought it was actually quite charming and funny and exciting at times, but it's silly.
Did it bomb?
Big time.
Oh, no.
But Mortal Kombat isn't even exciting. It's just corny, hokey. I couldn't. And I'm
sorry. I totally liked it.
You did?
Because of that.
I couldn't.
The things that didn't work for you worked for me with Mortal Kombat.
I think it's a better movie than Mortal Kombat Annihilation, but it's not as good as the original Mortal Kombat, which I feel is still the best one and the best. And Carl Urban he's wonderful. I didn't think he was quite right for Johnny Cage. I feel like you need a bigger name to pull off that character. The action sequences I didn't think were all that. I thought the prior Mortal Kombat was actually a lot better.
I thought, what was it? Is it Katana? Katana to me was more of the main character than Johnny Cage.
Definitely, and that was the best. It's a very good emotionally grounded story. I just wish the story around it wasn't so ridiculous. Like I couldn't get invested in all the emotional because like there is emotional key to that movie, and I feel like there's just too much nonsense.
If you kind of remove her story is a little more serious.
Then it's just silly,
emotional, and everything around it is like, cheese. Yeah.
Right. Highly profane, too. It's weird because it has the tone of a children's film, but it's highly profane.
Yeah.
So I thought Masters of the Universe did a better job of that because it's a kid movie, obviously, even for big kids like me, but it's also a really exciting movie. And who would have thought? Jared Leto, no one's favorite actor, but good Skeletor.
Wait.
Jared Leto plays Skeletor.
I didn't
Again,
know that.
the pause between you is just perfect with this music.
It's very dramatic.
Look,
This is like I'm like watching a De Palma movie right now.
Leto,
As Skeletor.
the sex cult leader.
Oh, of Masters of the Universe. Yeah.
Yes, playing the truly evil figure at the center of Eternia. Yes.
I recently watched. You know how people are like on your For You page and like just random reels pop up, right? And there's one that just simply popped up on my page, watching it, and it's a woman describing that, this is, I used to live here, and that is our college bar. And at that college bar, we always had a guy there that we called douchebag. And later on, she said she come to find out that the douchebag is the famous actor Jared Leto. And she proceeded to talk about like he was the creepiest dude at the bar and so full of himself.
Wow.
And I'm like, has that changed? I don't think so.
I know that really put a sour, like his reputation put a sour taste in my mouth watching Tron Ares.
Yeah, it's a shame because you know what? Great actor. It's a shame about everything surrounding that. It's a shame.
Yeah.
I hate that.
The deleted scene. Well, it's in the Is it in the Justice League, the 4-hour version?
Yeah. The scene with him and Ben Affleck.
Yeah. That's a great scene.
That was a great scene. That I was like, why didn't we get that Joker?
Yeah,
because that's
in Suicide Squad,
right? Because the studio wanted the easy sell version from Zack Snyder.
It's horrible.
And so Zack Snyder was able to take his time after he came back from his daughter's death, and he gave it pretty much everything he got because he knew he wasn't going to get a chance to.
Well, I hope right now there's a group of people that are like, okay, there's, even though Supergirl went bad, I wonder if there's a group of people that getting together going, well, then give us Batgirl. Yeah, you're giving us
Coyote versus Acme, which we hear is terrific. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
I hope that movie is big and it opens big and it does big so that the demand for Batgirl pushes it through.
Yeah, definitely. Who's in Batgirl again? It's
Brendan Fraser's the villain. We got Michael Keaton in it as Batman. Yeah, there's a lot of selling points.
Yeah, it was supposed to take place after the Flash.
Yeah,
that's why.
Really?
Yeah, so it has that connective tissue to Justice League.
And they just killed it.
They just killed it and then wrote it off on a tax refund.
But is it fully it's
done?
A fully done film, right?
It's done. Apparently there's a little bit of post production, but basically,
they didn't finish it. The movie shot, edited, special effects work still probably needed some tweaking, but they literally threw it off to the side.
Yeah. So.
Bastards.
And it would probably take money which the studio doesn't want to spend in order to finish it.
Who's this guy at Warner Brothers that greenlight this trashing?
I I don't want to name his name.
We don't want to.
I don't want him coming after me.
Yeah, Barry has enough heat, man.
This guy.
I got my Maui news review of the end of Oak Street coming out, which I'm sure I'm going to get all kinds of nice letters about.
Oh,
so.
that's why you were quiet when I was saying.
Okay, all right.
What does Jiren think?
Oh man,
I'm not
I know.
saying
I was
nothing.
waiting for you to chime in. I was like, I know you watched it.
I don't like that movie. No, I didn't like it. No, I go to town in the latest issue of the Maui News. So
I have seen,
check it out, folks.
I have seen clips from Coyote versus Acme.
It looks
and
wonderful.
It looks like
so
a fun
good.
film. You know, I mean, they've done Looney Tunes films in the past, and they kind of. What was the one with Brendan Fraser? Didn't he?
That was Back in Action.
Did you like that one?
It's okay, but I hear this one. I mean, people are comparing it to Roger Rabbit, saying this is one of the
Really?
best live-action animated movies in terms of creating that world.
It's John Cena. It's Will Arnett. It's
Well, it's Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner,
Wile E.
man.
Coyote and the
That's where I'm
Roadrunner.
going.
I think this is.
I-
It's,
sorry,
Bugs
I haven't
Bunny's in
seen
it.
I haven't seen like an actual Looney Tunes movie since Space Jam.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like,
and I love
the
Space Jam.
original.
The-
I love the original.
Yeah,
wait,
yeah,
I
yeah,
forgot that there was a sequel.
Isn't that insane? There's
Sorry,
a sequel to
I forgot
Space
that
Jam.
I forgot that there was a sequel. Any
What
movie
is it,
that came
LeBron?
out.
The one with
Yeah.
LeBron. I never
It's
watched
bad.
it.
It's
I didn't
so
see
bad.
it. I didn't see it.
So bad. Don't do it.
Don't do
It's
it.
so awful.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. But Coyote versus Acme, that's one of the number
I
one
can't
movies.
wait.
Can't wait to see
I
all
can't
year.
wait to see that one.
So
too,
excited.
yeah. So we have come to the end of this show, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Keep it like here on KAKU for more programming. And hopefully we'll be back next week. I'm in the process of finishing up a TV series called The Beauty. You know,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and then I will actually watch The Substance as well. So I
Oh,
can kind
boy.
of contrast and compare because I heard people kind of like, it's got a similar kind of theme to it. So I'll check that out for next week. Anyways, that's it. Mahalo, everybody, for coming. Jiren, Barry Wurst. We are out of here. Aloha.
Aloha.
How's it? I'm Brother Tony from the local show. KAKU is one listener-supported station. That means that all the kind shows you hear, like me, are sponsored by you, the listener, as well as our underwriters. If you would like to help keep the voice of Maui talking loud and clear like that, go to kakufm.org/donate and give today. And don't miss the local show Monday through Thursdays live at 1 p.m. on 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui.
KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui.
Now don't touch the knobs, cause I think we're gonna have some fun with this one here. You got to give it to me.
The marijuana, give it to me. Give it to me. Ow, give it to me. Give me that pipe you got down here on the floor, too. Quickly. Give me them cigarettes, too. Give me.
Give it to me.
Hey, Bulls, give me.
Give it everything you got.
We're the Sonic Cafe.
I give it to you.